And this is show number 246. If you've been following along, welcome. It is also, believe it or not, week 10, and my cat is still alive.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Yeah.
It's week 10.
Looking a little
Can
thin.
you guys believe it? So the cat with the party hat is alive and well. So thanks for joining us tonight on the Curly Hair Q&A show. We live stream this show every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in a number of different places. On Facebook in the Curly Girl Support Group, the Curly Hair Q&A group, the Diva Curl User Support Group, the Raw Curls User Support Group, the Curly Silvers Support Group. Are we in the Curly Silvers group tonight, Helen? We might not. Are we? The Shea Moisture User Support Group and the Curly Hair Q&A show Facebook page as well, and the Curly Hair Q&A group. On YouTube, on the Curly Hair Q&A show YouTube channel, that's your best user experience. Our podcast, we are an award-winning podcast, 2019, 2021, 2022, and 2023 award-winning podcast. We've been ranked as high as number one this year, 2023. I think over 10 times we've been rated in the top 3 in hair industry podcasts. So anyway, pretty cool.
Nice.
You can listen to this episode and all the previous archived podcasts and interviews on the Curly Hair Q&A show podcast, usually every Monday night by 10 o'clock Eastern Time, PM. You can listen to the show. We have it uploaded and ready to go. It used to take overnight. Now it happens in a couple of hours. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can check that out. So, again, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm here with curly hair expert Melanie Nichols, just like every week.
Everybody.
And she'll be here answering your toughest curly hair questions. So, anyway, so how was your week? Happy Passover and happy Easter. I think those are the two big ones this week for those of you who celebrate. And Melanie, anything interesting happened at the salon this week? Anything you want to show us? Anything you want to talk about?
You could give me a minute. But yeah, well, we haven't been on the show in a couple of weeks. So I was just trying to go back and look because, I mean, a lot happens. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about that right away?
Well, if you want, we can go into questions, or tonight I'm going to give away some more zip codes. Just about everybody who won the zip code contest up to this point, just about everyone has already been entered. So if you haven't been, just hang on tight because we'll be doing more tonight and tomorrow, and that should be all of them up to this point. So I'm going to give you a couple more. If you're not familiar with the zip code contest, it is this is the last night of a free 1-year membership to Our Curl Club. If you'd like, check out ourcurlclub.com. It's where you can buy curly hair products, salon professional quality curly hair products, salon professional quality skincare products, and nutritional supplements, and some other cool odds and ends at wholesale prices, and you get free 2-day shipping. Ourcurlclub.com. You can go right to the homepage. Everything is right there, and you can see all the products and all the prices and all the discounted rates. And it is what it is. If you buy curly hair products or skincare products or nutritional stuff or even some pet care stuff, check it out. Take a look. You can save a ton of money and get free 2-day shipping. So we can do that first. So if you're ready, I'll go over a bunch of these zip codes. Moving forward, we're probably going to do some more in a couple of weeks. We'll see. But I'll probably do them during the week like I had been doing them. But they're going to be reduced to 6 months. And then after that, they're going to be reduced to 3 months. And then they're going to go away forever. So the freebies.
We can talk about the one thing, the picture, the platform.
Yeah, we can talk about that too.
That's an interesting thing that happened.
So let me give you a bunch of zip codes. We'll start off with the freebies, and we'll go through those. You guys ready? 33771, 33756, 33760, 33764, 33770, 33773, 33774, 34778, 34233, and 34236. Send an email if that is an email, or send me an email if that is a zip code that you live in, and send it to support@ourcurlclub.com, and give us your address, tell us your curl type, your real name, and your real shipping address, because it's got to match. And tell me, do you have curly, wavy, coily hair? Tell us what you got, and you'll get a free 1-year membership to our Curl Club. It's worth $100. So anyway, all right. You want to talk about this platform first?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most interesting thing that happened.
It really is. And I wish those of you listening to the podcast, I would highly recommend, maybe when you get a chance, go to the Curly Hair Q&A Show YouTube channel. It'll be right up on the front, right, Helen? It'll be this show will be right up on the front, and check out the pictures of this, especially if you're a hairstylist and you're watching this. Check this thing out. Tell us about this, Melanie. Tell us how this all came about.
So, is that picture up?
Yep,
Can we
it's
see
up.
it? Because it's awfully little. Okay, so this is a new platform that my client's husband built for me, because I have torn rotator cuffs in both shoulders now, and I will be having some kind of surgery or procedure in June. And so, it's hard. I've been trying to get through season, what we call season, our busy time, which is always for me, but extra busy, and it's hard for me to lift my arms up, which hairdressers do all day long. So one day I just stood on a little step stool, which Jessica didn't like because she was nervous I was going to fall off. And we started looking at platforms to order for me to stand on to go behind my chair. And we found one that was just a rectangle. So it would be that back portion, which you can see I'm standing on. But it was, just plastic, black, and it was quite pricey, plus shipping, and they didn't know when it would, arrive and all this. So I figured I would have to order 3, one for each side of the chair. And I was sharing this with one of my curly clients, Tara, and she said her husband is a builder and he could make that for me in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, you better okay that with him before you volunteer his time. And so she obviously went home and talked to him about it. Within a few days, less than a week, he came, he measured, we decided the height that we wanted. And like I said, he just took all these measurements, and then a day later, he was in his garage making it. And within 1 week, I had this platform perfectly designed to go around my chair. So I now have a stage to work on. So it boosts me up higher so that I don't have to lift my arms up, because that's what is hard and difficult, and my shoulders dislocate when I do that too much. So it keeps me from having to lift them up and suffer. And then after I have my surgery or procedures, this will come in handy as well, as I'm trying to recover and also not raising my arms. As you can see, I'm lifted up 10 inches. And so that lady's hair is really long, and it makes it very easy to blow dry, and especially the top of a head, or someone like my friend Dr. Suzanne, who's very tall. And when I highlight her hair, I normally have to stand on my tippy toes and keep pushing her head down to try to reach the top of her head. So in those scenarios, I can have people sit in this chair with my new stage. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Tara, and your wonderful husband, Craig. And what a blessing.
Very much
it's
so.
Amazing. It was just so fast. He just whipped it up in his garage, like she said.
And it looks like a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
If you're listening on podcast and you can't see this, but it's about 10 inches tall, mm-hmm. and it wraps completely around the chair, like in the shape of a block C, like a block letter C, with the center cut out, and the
like
chair,
a U. I had told him a U shape.
Yeah, or a U shape, a very shallow U,
mm-hmm.
and the chair base fits perfectly in there, so it can't slide around. And Melanie's hands, when she's working on a client, as you would see in the pictures, she doesn't have to lift her arms to be at hair level. Mm-hmm. So they're virtually pretty much not bent. So in other words, instead of having to have your arms at a 45-degree angle or more,
90. Yeah,
or
usually
90,
they're at
yeah,
90.
it wouldn't have to be because the head's right there. Like,
Yeah, pretty awesome.
So it's pretty neat. Anyway, so
and it's
thank
big
you.
enough that I won't fall off and hurt myself.
Right, exactly. So this'll get her by before treatments. Hopefully,
And after.
yeah. Hopefully, we got our fingers crossed. So, all righty, okay. You want to get into some questions? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. So this, I got this yesterday. And then somebody sent me something about it today, and I just want to clarify this before we get into this question and Melanie starts talking about it. Because I mean, you guys know, I mean, we've talked about this for years. We've been doing this show, and I don't. Part of the deal in doing this show is Melanie doesn't review the questions ahead of time, and a lot of times I don't, other than just getting them printed off where in a font size I can read. It is what it is, right? But she doesn't get them pre. So this one I kind of have to give her a little bit upfront here. So that being said, Melanie, it's I went and confirmed this today. What I'm going to read to you, it is exactly what this woman's saying. So I looked. All right. Okay, Melanie. This weekend on the Diva Curl Professionals website, that's for stylists, they posted a class teaching, quote unquote, the silk press method. I'm confused. Doesn't this method make curly hair straight? Do you know anything about this service? I thought heat was a big no-no when it comes to curly hair. What are your thoughts?
Interesting.
It is interesting. Like I said, I read this, I'm like, she must be thinking of something else, but I actually went, I looked. It is what it is.
So, as most of you know, Diva as a company has completely changed. It's been sold how many times now?
3.
So it's owned by investors?
Yes. No. It's not anymore. It's owned by Henkel, a big regular hair product company.
Exactly.
Out of Germany.
Exactly. So they have gotten away from their
traditions.
Their core traditions, I would say. And we see that more and more, and this would just be another confirmation of that. This is not what the founders, started the business, and that's not what it was all about. Because that is correct. Silk pressing the hair is flat ironing it. It's another name.
What about it? So it's called silk press. Is it something different than flat ironing? And just like balayage is really right. And,
Yes. And,
you know what I mean?
I'm tiptoeing around that because it's one of those things that, are different for different cultures. So in certain cultures and certain hair types, they call it silk pressing. And then in other cultures and other hair types, they call it flat ironing and, straightening with the flat iron. Same service. You're using a flat iron, a press, and you're using products to smooth and straighten the hair. So that's what that's all about. So interesting that Diva's teaching classes on that. That's different.
How long would it take on the type of hair on the type of curly hair that this type of service would be done on? How long does it take for the curl to come back?
Well, it comes back when you wash your hair or when it gets wet. But, keep in mind, the more you continue to straighten and press and flat iron and smooth the hair, the more and more you do it, the more your curl breaks down, and it can cause damage. It can compromise the strength of the hair, the curl structure. So if it's overdone and continually over and over and over and over, then that's when I see those people that come in that have partially straight curls and partially curly curls, because it's recovering. So the more you do it, the longer it can take to recover, because it can cause more damage. So yes, this is using, heat tools and straightening the hair. Now, to do that once in a great while, whatever. People worry about we had that question, I don't know, years ago, really, I think it was, but People freak out about going to a wedding or being in a wedding party, and they have to have their hair done, and they're going to
Oh,
smooth.
the
and
bride doesn't want her to wear her hair
yeah,
curly.
it's okay.
She wants
It's
it up.
okay.
Yeah.
Like one time, it's not going to kill you, or your hair's not going to fall out. So your curls will bounce back. But the more and the more and the more you do it, just like people, I have some clients that I guess for work or for different reasons, they constantly pull their hair back in ponytails or buns tight. And they start to lose their curl. It takes a while for that, a little bit for that curl pattern to be re-moisturize and, get healthier and stronger, and that curl come back, to what it used to be. Sometimes it takes a haircut. So like the longer and the more you do pull and straighten on your hair, the longer it's going to take to recover.
Okay. All right.
But that's really interesting. You want to know another interesting thing?
I thought so too. That's why I said when I saw this woman talking about it, and then I saw it again, and I'm like, no way.
But I mean, Diva's just like a whole different company now. The products are different.
Yeah.
They shut the salons down. They're not really about the stylist at all. It's about the product. So I mean, yeah, not really surprising to me. I mean, they're like a totally different company. They still have the name. They still,
They're just doing things much differently.
Yeah. I mean, you know how it is. Once you get away from the original founders of a company, things start to change.
Right. Okay. Melanie, I have a question about coloring and highlighting. Boy, this is going to be the damage show. All right, Melanie, I have a question about coloring and highlighting. I have been getting highlights for years. Recently, I seem to be losing my curl, and I'm wondering if it could be the chemicals. What do you think? And what should I do?
Yes, for sure. So we just had a scenario of someone who came in to buy products and ended up asking, a bunch of questions about their hair, saying, it's dry, and telling us what they use. And those Raw Curls products, the products don't dry out your hair. So, but looking at the person's hair, we could tell, it's got color and highlights. So those things absolutely dry out the hair, it's gonna break down the strength of the hair, the integrity of the hair, which causes you to lose curl. I wish Jessica were here. She always tells her story about when she first came to me and she had super, super blonde hair, and it was definitely over blonded. And she had, lots of straight pieces, especially in the front. She was attached to those. But they were straight. And so she didn't allow me to cut them off right away, but little by little by little, I was cutting away at it and reconditioning her hair. And now I was in charge of her colors. So I, toned it back a little bit. We didn't do as blonde, got it healthy. And, you've all seen her hair now. It's beautiful spiral curls. So absolutely color, especially highlighting, once you get into that, is breaking down the integrity of the hair, which therefore causes you to lose curl, because it's the curl needs moisture, and if you're breaking down those bonds where the hair, it can't hang on to any moisture because of the porosity. It's now highly porous, it's highly damaged, so that definitely is something that is a problem. What can you do? You can, and people say, why do we do these things then? Why do we color? Why do we highlight? Because people want it, and you can't judge for that. It is what it is. You just, the repercussions, the consequences, and you try to, repair. So conditioning treatments, take a break from highlighting. Summer's coming, your hair will probably naturally highlight. I've developed techniques of coloring the hair with a reverse balayage technique, so it looks highlighted and you get that dimensional look without putting bleach in the hair. There's a lot of different things to do, but there's a million different treatments, from conditioning treatments to, steam treatments to infrared iron treatments to keratin treatments. All those things are what we use to re-strengthen and rebuild the bonds in the hair. So you can repair the damage. Now, I always talk about there's a point of no return, and none of those things are going to help. If you're what I call a level 5 porosity, which is, breaking, you're just going to have to cut it.
So in Diva Curl's defense, do you think, going back to our first question, do you think maybe that's how their new owners are looking at this and saying,
Selling
hey,
product?
right, that this is a service or a procedure or whatever that people want, that have the type of hair that we sell products to. So we'll do it. We'll promote it. We'll teach it. What is that? You think that's the theory? Is there's that many people asking about it?
For sure. Like I say, there's a certain culture that, has done those services forever. And they will continue to. Not everybody is going to want to wear their hair naturally curly.
Or forever.
Right. They want to have those options, or they just aren't even interested. So they're obviously trying to reach out to another sector of business.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, did you guys know Raw Curls is having an April flash sale? Every day this month, there's a different flash sale. There's a really good one today. You can go to rawhairorganics.com and check it out. There's a really good one today. There's the Wavy Swavy Trio. 16-ounce bottle of Wavy Swavy Cleanser, 16-ounce bottle of Wavy Swavy Conditioner, and an 8-ounce bottle of the award-winning Anti-Frizz Spray. $50 shipped.
April Fools. No, I'm just kidding.
It's really cheap.
Not an April Fool's joke.
It's really cheap.
I
But it
almost
ends at midnight tonight, so if you want one.
I almost played an April Fool's joke. I was going to put a close sign on my door and turn the lights off when my clients came.
That's right.
It would have been awesome. They would have freaked out.
Just wait till she really does it.
I think Helen's
she's gonna
mom
hide in the back.
I think Helen's mom came that day. I was going to play that trick. If I had Jessica there to help, I would have. But yeah, it would have been fun to watch and videotape everyone's reactions. They would be freaking out.
That's funny.
It was fun.
We could film it and we could use it on our channel.
Yeah, that would have been great. But it was a
And
Saturday.
then when you really retire, do it again, and people go, "No, you're not." Yeah, really am. No, really.
So before I forget, because I forgot to tell you this, and it's something very interesting because, over the years, I've been doing non-ammonia hair color on my clients for almost 20 years. And definitely before it was cool. And, we said this was going to be a whole movement of the industry, which we have now seen. Every brand has come out with, their non-ammonia hair color.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a marketing,
Yeah.
BS. Anyway, and let's just say I wasn't supported by.
Welcomed with open arms with that theory?
I wasn't welcomed with open arms amongst some
Closed
of my
fists,
colleagues,
pointed fingers
in very high places. Anyway, so some have come and gone, and but. Just recently, last week, I think it was, in fact, when I went to the supply store, guess who's come out with their non-ammonia hair color line, and they're advertising it all over Redken.
I'm shocked. Well, I knew it was coming, but still, it's funny.
They had one, but now
Color Insider, didn't they? Well, that didn't really
No, that's
count.
Matrix.
That's Matrix.
Chromatics. But now they have, it's
Chromatics.
like their gels, like their color gels, which is
The irony of that, eh?
right. Yeah, that was funny.
Did you say chromastics?
No.
Or chromatics?
Chromatics.
Not chromastics?
No.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, positive. But it's like their color gels, but they now have a non-ammonia, liquid color. And was it a 10-minute color? I'm forgetting.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it was non-ammonia, and they were really promoting that.
Did you buy it?
I didn't. They didn't have many. It was sold out.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't have many color
You gonna
choices
try it?
left. I probably will.
Here's
yeah.
a fun fact if most of you guys probably don't know is Melanie used to review hair color lines
At a blog.
on a blog. Yeah. Yep. Used to. We haven't done it in a long time because we're busy with other stuff. But
It's time consuming.
you can probably still find it.
You can.
Yeah. Oh, you can. Yeah. It's organichaircolorreview.com or haircolorreview.com. Either one. So that's interesting. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
No.
All right. Okay. Here's a fun question. This is funny, and it must have been because we were talking a few weeks back. We had brought up curly hair dogs and whatever.
Oh.
So this is funny. So I told Helen, I wonder if Helen knows this or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see which one of you knows this. So, Melanie, I know some curly-haired dogs are hypoallergenic. Mm-hmm. But what about curly-haired cats? Are there any?
I don't know of curly-haired cats.
How about you, Helen? Do you know any? Long-haired fluffy cats? That's not the same thing.
Right.
I don't think.
I never heard of
either,
a.
no.
Yeah, I've never heard of a curly cat.
It sounds good. It rolls off the tongue. Curly cats. We could change the name of our show to Curly
Cats.
I will not. I will
Then
not
we'll
be
have to have
showing
a mascot.
No, we won't. We have one. We have a 10-week-old one. Cue the cat Fetty.
Aww.
Anyway,
Nice little
so
kitty.
yeah, so you don't know, huh?
No, but the only hypoallergenic cat that I know is the hairless one. They look kind of interesting.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they don't look right.
They have,
Vlad's not hair. No, Vlad's not hairless.
no,
He's got black hair.
got black hair.
Anyway.
No, so I've never, I don't know, somebody,
If anybody knows, go ahead, post in your comment
Yeah.
section wherever you happen to be watching or listening to this. So, I love cats. If you didn't know,
we're getting you one.
I already have one. He's in the corner and he refuses to die. I cannot believe that. It's been 10 weeks. He's staring at me. It's one of those things. It's one of those balloon things that no matter where you are in the room, it's staring at you.
He's got cute little kitty eyes.
Creepy.
It lasted longer than the balloon you got me.
Yeah, it did.
Still going.
Love kids. Melanie, when I wash and condition my hair, I can see frizz even when it's wet. Is this normal? Is there anything I can do about it? She sees frizz even when her hair is wet. Is that normal?
It's unusual because so many people say they love the way their hair looks when it's wet because it has all that water and hydration in the hair, and then when it starts to dry, that evaporates, and then if we're not using the right products, or we have those gray hairs that are really difficult to moisturize and hydrate, those a lot of times are the ones that are more flyaway and frizzy.
Is that kind of wiry?
Yes, because they're very. When we do the stretch test, that's one of the things that I always used for porosity and like gray hair is very hard and coarse and it doesn't even want to budge. It's just really like, it just stays right there. And that means that it needs moisture. Yeah. So, is it normal? I wouldn't say. It's just unusual. So I feel like maybe they need to do a clarifier and a deep conditioning treatment because it sounds like maybe their hair is coated with something that the water's not even getting in. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would try.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Melanie, how do I decide which I should use for styling? A gel or a cream? How do you decide?
Well, first of all, it depends.
Some people use both.
Yeah. That's how we came out with the firm and flexible cream gel.
Yeah. It's firm and flexible.
Correct.
It's a cream
It's
and
a
a
cream
gel.
and a gel combination, which on a lot of people, used to use the cream and then the gel over it. But first thing is, what's your hair type? What's your curl type? Is your hair really fine? Is it, thick and coarse and dry? That's going to determine what you use initially, because I don't, people that have hair like me, let's say in the wavy category, you're not going to typically do well with creams. It's too heavy. Does not have enough, you need hold and encouragement and curl definition. So a cream is like a cream, like a leave-in cream consistency conditioner. It's going to be soft and it's just going to, weigh the hair down more. So if you have if you're in the 2s or even some of the 3As like me, I don't typically recommend a cream. But then from there, it's going to be personal preference. What's the look you're going for? Do you want more hold and definition that's going to last? Or do you just want a soft style for the day? Remember, the softer you start, the less longevity you get. The firmer you start, the longer and stronger the hold, the longer the curl lasts.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how people say, how do I decide between a medium firm gel? Well, it's a lot of times it comes down to, what you're trying to achieve and how long you want your curls to last. If the strongest products are going to give you the longest lasting curls and the most definition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But,
okay. All righty. Okay. We're down to our last question tonight. I had to rewrite this a little and bring it down to 3 sentences. It was kind of a lengthy. It was a statement question, if you know what I mean. Right. So here's how I wrote it. Melanie, I've been thinking about biting the bullet and going to a curly hair salon, one where all they do is curly hair. I've never been to one before. Can you tell me why it would be worth it?
oh my gosh. Well,
I get it. It's that's why I said I reworded it. It's a good question. I mean, if you've never been to one, if you don't really understand, the world from, I guess the hair world from a professional end, you don't realize that stylists don't get trained how to do curly hair in beauty school. You just assume they learn everything in beauty school, right? I mean, I would.
really?
Well, it goes back to my thing about showing up late. I didn't know, and I was in my mid-20s. I didn't know.
Beauty school.
25 minutes late, and I'm like, hey, I'm here.
Beauty school teaches
didn't know.
hairstylists the basics to pass the state boards. So if somebody doesn't continue their education beyond that, that's not a great thing. It's very basic, do's and don'ts and techniques and all the things.
Do people ever even ask?
They ask how long you've been doing hair a lot of times.
Is that
yeah.
the typical
And I
one
remember
question?
that. Yeah, I remember when I was starting off and it was like, oh
Today's my
God, they're
first
going to
day.
ask,
my
how
first
long I've
day.
been doing hair. Yeah. So, but, because I went to a salon that had an apprenticeship, you weren't even allowed to work on clients on the floor for 3 to 6 months. So you just go right into additional training because again, they teach you the basics, how to pass the state boards, which a lot of that stuff is outdated. And, then you are just out free and working on people. And so it's really great to have a mentor or, go to an apprenticeship or, definitely continue your education, forever. So, but what is it worth it? Absolutely. I have hundreds of clients that come to me from all over, and I can't tell you how many times, some people kind of come in with a little bit of an attitude or an edge, like, I don't know, they've heard about me or been referred or whatever, and I guess it's not people that have been referred because they would have seen, the results on somebody. I don't know. But sometimes they come in, kind of like the same, like, I hope this is worth it. It's almost like a challenge. Like they're thinking,
Right.
I'm paying all this money. And
A hairstylist is a hairstylist is a hairstylist.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And then I can't tell you how many of I want to say almost always, I've had people say, wow, they're amazed. They just can't, they're blown away at the difference of their hair. And they're like, this is the best haircut I've ever had in my life. We're talking about people in their 50s to 70s. They've had a lot of haircuts. They can immediately see the difference. The haircut lasts a good 3 months. Some people go more. Because these are special techniques that we're using to cut, specifically to customize for the curls. A traditional haircut doesn't work on most curly hair. And you run into problems, unevenness, it's cut too short because of the shrinkage, it's not, the traditional haircuts are not adapting for the different curl patterns. So you run into a lot of issues. So yes, it's absolutely 100% worth it. That being said, hopefully you get a good stylist that's following what they, were trained in, because that's an issue. People go and they get, a diva cut or a weed ad cut, and they're not happy.
We're going to talk about that after the last question here.
But I can't tell you how many times, like I've had people come from other salons that have had those haircuts, and I start asking them questions, and I'm like, I'm really sorry you had that experience, but that's not the weed ad system or the diva cut,
right?
Because I know those haircuts. I do those haircuts, and they're not following the system. So those people, like I've had employees the same way, they start doing their own thing, they stray from the system, and then disaster, so people aren't happy.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what career or what business you're talking about, there's going to be some people that are good and some people that aren't so good. People that have natural talent and people that not so much. So yes, it's absolutely worth it. I hope you get someone great and wonderful. My clients tell me over and over, it's magical. They just can't, they're just blown away at, how much better their curls look, what a difference it makes. It's changed their life. I mean, it's pretty special.
Yeah. That, I was going to bring that up. That is something that has been happening again. We went through this a few years ago where there was a rash of stylists saying that they were trained in curly hair, telling people, and they were saying, yeah, I'm diva trained. I can do a diva cut, whatever. And had never had any training, maybe had a look and learn. But now it seems I've noticed over the last, since the first of the year, there's been a rash of people posting online saying, I got a diva curl cut, it's terrible. And then they'll describe it and say, well, they pulled my hair out straight and whatever. And I'm like, here we go. I mean, we're back to this again. We are, and we'll talk about this later in the year. We'll talk more about this later in the year, but that is something that we're going to do with the Curl Institute is we're going to have a curly hair certification exam that's not products specific, which it'll be the only one. And we're going to have a stylist finder list on that of people who have been certified by the Curl Institute. And it's not going to be a real easy test walkthrough kind of thing. You either know curly hair or you don't. And we've been talking about this for probably 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we know it's needed. It's just one of those things is that, we have a busy salon, we own a number of product businesses. We're busy. So putting it together has been a little bit difficult, but we finally got it out here. And within the next couple of days, we'll be launching some online classes for hairstylists and whatever. But the Curl Institute certification exam is basically a day-long exam, and you've got to do it all. So when you see that nice plaque, on the wall, or it'll be a question you can ask when you call when you're looking for a curly hair salon. You can, instead of saying, do you do curly hair? And it'll be a real simple question. Are you certified by the Curl Institute? Yes or no? And if they are, they'll have their nice plaque out in the open for you to see it. And if they're not, well, then to go somewhere else, I guess. But yeah, it's just recently this starting to, because it had been kind of quiet for a couple of years where you weren't hearing it as much. And now lately, here we go. You know what it seems to be? And that's all I'm going to talk about. I'll just, one last thing. You know what it seems to be? Whenever the economy gets a little rough. Well, right? Because if you think about the last time it happened, right? It's kind of the same thing. Whenever things get a little bit tough, this last time it happened was right about when COVID started. So, all of a sudden they'll do anything that walks in the door for money, right?
Well, yeah. And I mean, I've even had friends that say they know how to cut curly hair, and
yeah, you do.
They take out a comb and start combing through your hair dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you doing?
I know someone that did that to you. Just give me a trim.
So, they're just cutting hair dry, how they would cut it wet, but it's not. So again, to add on to this person's question, these are special techniques specific to curly hair. They're different than traditional haircuts. Whether, it's dry cutting or wet cutting, there's systems, there's some, specific big name systems that are, that we're talking about, that are the good ones out there. And these are techniques used to customize your curls so that they look their best and that they don't cause frizz and that they address problems and issues that curly hair have.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely worth it.
Yeah. Do you want to wrap up the show? You want to talk about this before and after thing?
Yeah. So I did have some. It was like the style of the week.
You guys on podcasts aren't going to see this, but Melanie's got a bunch of before and after pictures of a client here.
I had like 4 of these come in a row. I didn't take pictures of all of them, so I have 2 different people to share. But it seems as though, and I never finished posting this. I posted it on one of the Instagrams, but not the other. I will get to that. So this seemed to be the trend lately, where it's getting really hot here. People are coming in, cut off all my hair. They want it shorter. And everyone seemed to want this similar style, angled bob, from shorter in the back to longer in the front, layered, to bounce up the curls. And so it works really well, especially with fine hair. It helps it to make it look thicker and fuller. So here's one of those scenarios, her hair had grown out and, it starts to look kind of stringy and on the ends and wispy. And so there we are. Brought it back up above the shoulders, angled from back to front, a little bit longer in the front. And it, makes it look so much thicker and fuller and bounces those curls up.
Did you do color on her? Or
did not. Her color has grown out. She had,
really?
Yeah, she had a lot going on in the past year. And I think it was a friend or somebody, I don't know, another side. She had a friend who was a hairstylist or somebody that had highlighted her hair last time, but that's growing out now. But no, we were talking about color. So no, that's just old highlights on her hair.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, and then there's another one very similar if Helen has those.
Helen, you got another one for us?
Did you look at your phone?
Helen's saying no.
On
the platform?
Oh, it says delivered. I'll send it to you again.
Yeah, give us just a second here. She's got another.
How do I do that? How do I do that?
I don't know.
Oh, forward. Okay, I'll forward it to you again.
Just a second here. In the meantime, I forgot to mention during the April flash sale, everyday sale, every order gets a free gift pack. Every order, regardless of size, with a free gift worth anywhere between, it's kind of a grab bag kind of thing, anywhere between $16 and $60 every order. So place an order this month. I'm telling you get a great deal and you get free stuff.
Wow.
Yep. Helen was packing up a bunch of those free stuff that they're pretty good. There's some of those are pretty good.
Nice.
Aren't they, Helen? They are. They're pretty good. They're like those people that are.
We never finished our our trivia questions because we missed.
We didn't.
A couple weeks in a row.
Yep.
Did you get it, Helen?
Any luck? One picture. Is that what you sent?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Let's see.
There we are.
We're waiting. Oh, there it is.
So same situation. Super grown out,
Sunscreen.
Long, thin, fine hair. And you can see how it gets really see-through on the ends. She has very, very, very fine hair.
Yeah.
So, but cutting it up to that length, it makes such a huge difference. It's so fun. It looks like a totally different head of hair. It looks so much thicker and bulkier. And
is it just natural that it looks like that where it gets thin towards the ends, or is she bleaching? Is she what? Tell us a little bit more then.
She doesn't bleach her hair. She colors it herself at home, but No, that's just a great example of what happens with people's hair, especially fine hair. And, I said everyone's hair gets to a point where it starts to look stringy on the ends.
Yeah.
Fine hair, it happens quicker, and they always want to seem to grow their hair longer, but it just doesn't, typically look great because it starts to look scraggly like that. So, even if you brought it up to where it starts, that looks like a really, perfect ombre where she's naturally darker at the root. And then it's like in that
It does.
yeah, it's a little bit darker and then it gets really light on the ends. So even if you brought it up to where it gets, less blonde, can you see that? Like about at her shoulders, that would make it look bulkier. And then bringing it up even more where we did, helps it to look even thicker yet. So, she would
nice.
like,
She happy with that?
Oh yeah, yeah. She loves it. We talked. She would like to go even a little bit shorter, but then we're gonna start to lose some. If you go too high, then she's not gonna have any hairline left.
Right. For sure.
So I want to, I told her this is about her sweet spot where, we have that density through the perimeter and the hairline, the back of her head.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to lose that too.
Right. Oh, great. Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Again, check out ourcurlclub.com. If you'd like 50% off every single day, buy at the same prices that Ulta does and your salon does and Sally's does, and you get free 2-day shipping. Just join ourcurlclub.com. All right. Anything else? Wrap it up.
I think that's it.
Okay, good. All right. Send us off.
Have a great curly week and we'll see you soon. Thanks
Bye.
for joining us.